What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Big Love, and this is Big Love's Breakdown. So with the Royal Rumble almost 24 hours behind us, Raw starts tonight with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho coming out. Like we haven't seen this for the past few months. So basically Kevin Owens comes out there and kind of brags about winning last night and how he didn't need anybody's help except for Chris Jericho's, and he wanted to thank him. And Chris Jericho, of course, goes on about how he lasted 61 minutes in the Royal Rumble. Mind you, most of it was spent outside the ring. As Chris Jericho is going on and on about his dominance in the Royal Rumble, or his so-called dominance, Braun Strowman interrupts. Now, Braun Strowman obviously is here for a reason. He wants a Universal Championship match with Kevin Owens. He shows a tape from last month where Kevin Owens, kind of nonchalantly, not thinking, says, "Hey, if I'm the Universal Champion after Royal Rumble, you'll be next in line." Well, guess what, Kevin? Tonight is that night. Kevin Owens is trying to back out of this match, obviously, because who wants to fight Braun at this point, especially after the match he had with Roman the night before, and after seeing what Braun did in the Royal Rumble. Foley comes out. By the way, what the hell was Foley wearing? It was like a plaid green suit. If you didn't see that, you got to check it out. Foley's outfit is crazy. So Foley, of course, announces Braun Strowman to challenge Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. Then we get Chris Jericho versus Sami Zayn. The U.S. title's not on the line here, folks. This is a pretty good match, actually. These two definitely have a good ring chemistry. I mean, you can tell. I'm not sure how many times they've worked together in the past, other than a couple matches in WWE. I think it was at like Clash of Champions. They do some cool spots, a lot of false finishes. Jericho keeps trying to go for his walls of Jericho. He finally gets it, and Sami Zayn's probably in the hold for about 30 to 45 seconds before he gets to the ropes. And then he finally gets the haluva kick onto Jericho to win the match. I think we're going to eventually see Sami Zayn challenging Chris Jericho for the U.S. title. They run a Seth Rollins package to kind of hype up the confrontation between him and Stephanie later. Then there's a backstage segment where Kevin Owens is talking to Stephanie, where he's basically trying to get out of his title match with Braun Strowman later. The next match we get is Tony Nese versus Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali has a horrible fall. Tony Nese pushes him off the top rope, and it looked like he landed on his shoulder or neck. It was definitely brutal. Tony Nese picks up the win with a knee from the corner. So finally, the segment with Stephanie and Seth Rollins comes up, and I gotta tell you, it was hilarious. Seth Rollins starts the segment out by basically calling out Stephanie, even though she was supposed to call him out. He basically tells her, "Suck it up, buttercup." He had a couple other smart-ass remarks. He says something to the effect that Triple H disappoints her in the bedroom every night, or she disappoints him. It was just a barrage of insults trying to get under Stephanie's skin, or at least maybe get Triple H to come out. Stephanie tells us at the beginning that Triple H wasn't here, and she kind of undersells all of his insults towards her. Stephanie basically says she wants an apology from Seth Rollins, and that what he did at NXT was inappropriate, and that it was insulting to the fans, her and Triple H, and that he didn't really want Triple H because Triple H would ruin him. Seth basically says he has nothing left. He needs Triple H. He wants Triple H. He's gonna beat Triple H. And Stephanie obviously gets a little pissed at this. Once again, she's underselling a lot of this. So then she finally just kind of blurts out, "Triple H is on his way and he'll get you later tonight," or something to that effect. So I gotta say, I was pretty hyped about this because I've been wanting to see them interact, and there hasn't been any interaction pretty much, other than the one at TakeOver this past weekend. So then we get Charlotte and the Club versus Bayley, Sheamus, and Cesaro. Cesaro comes out wearing the Bayley wristbands, and Sheamus is just not into it, but Cesaro is doing the Bayley everything, just interacting with her with the wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. It's just kind of funny to watch. It's an okay match. You get the basics from Cesaro, Sheamus, the Club, Charlotte, and Bayley. Cesaro does a springboard onto the Club, onto the outside, and it wasn't supposed to be a springboard. I think he was trying to step onto the turnbuckle, 1, 2, and then jump. but he ends up botching it, and even Cesaro makes botches look cool, so that was probably the best spot of the match. It ends when Bayley hits the Bayley to belly on Charlotte to get the 1-2-3, and the announce teams always hype this up like it's just a 6-person win. It doesn't matter as much, but you would have sworn by the reaction of Byron Saxton that she just won the title from Charlotte. She did not. So Foley and Steph are backstage after the Seth Rollins confrontation, and Stephanie's trying to get Mick Foley to basically cancel the Braun Strowman match. Foley makes a couple good logical points to Stephanie about keeping his integrity and not breaking his promise. Now, as I told y'all before, I'm such a huge Neville fan, and I'm really happy that he finally got his due in the main roster on WWE. I know it's just a Cruiserweight Championship, but at least it's something, and at least they're giving him value. His new heel persona is so great. I just can't believe they kept this hidden from us for so long. They do the Neville coronation in the ring for him winning the Cruiserweight title last night, and of course Rich Swann comes and interrupts it. This segment was really stupid. I don't know if Rich Swann has a whole script written for him for everything he's going to say out there, or if just the writers are writing the biggest crap for him, but I'm just not into it when he talks. I like both of these guys, but I think Rich Swann's promos are really horrendous at times, and I could definitely do without them. I love his in-ring stuff, and it's great, and his match with Neville, though it could have been better, was really solid at the Royal Rumble, but they just don't need to give him a mic as much. So in the back, Sasha's getting her knee taped up, and Bayley comes in and tells her, hey, maybe she shouldn't have this match. Sasha kind of makes a slide comment about how she's just not going to give up and she's not going to settle for not being the best. So I'm not sure if we're going to get a heel turn from Sasha, but there definitely seems like they're trying to give us a little something to that. So then backstage we have Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho at the lockers. So Kevin Owens basically says, hey, you're going to be out there to help me, right? You got my back. And Chris Jericho's like, where were you when I was losing to Sami Zayn earlier? I think the seeds of dissension are being sowed here, and I think it's just a matter of time before we get the inevitable Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens split. So after that segment is the Kevin Owens-Braun Strowman match for the Universal Championship. Jericho comes out with Kevin Owens but goes to the announcer position, which is at the entrance ring. But then Braun comes out and decimates Chris Jericho before the match. He basically eliminates Chris Jericho from the equation. Now let me just say, I wasn't going to mention this beforehand, but when they made this match, I saw this coming a mile away. Roman Reigns was going to interfere in this match. It was just inevitable after what happened last night. The match was really short. Roman Reigns comes out there and pretty much tears Braun Strowman to pieces. Now when Roman leaves, Braun pretty much gets up immediately, but still, we saw this coming. Roman Reigns has to look strong and beat up Braun Strowman, whatever. So I'm going to be honest with you. I know Brock Lesnar arrives and Paul Heyman comes out there in the ring with him and talks about how Brock Lesnar is the best. Let me just get this straight with y'all. Paul Heyman has great promos, but I'm just kind of lulled by this because I don't want to see Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. I especially don't want to see it at Mania. We saw this in 2004. It's probably one of the worst WrestleMania matches in history, other than celebrity matches. It's got to be up there in the top 5. At least the part-timers are wrestling each other. But if the rumors are true and it's going to be for the Universal title, I'm just dreading this match because it was terrible 13 years ago. I don't imagine it's going to be any better. So Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax, nothing special here. Much like last night, it was pretty much a squash match. Early on, Sasha Banks got a little more offense in, but Nia Jax grabs her from the ring and puts her in a full Nelson on the outside and just kind of throws her leg, her injured leg, into the ring post a couple times. She puts her in what looks like a reverse Boston Crab, where she actually has Sasha's knee over her knee while she's facing forward. It looked brutal. The bell rings. I didn't see the ref call for the bell. I imagine he was about to, but the ref doesn't call for the bell, and he looks confused at first. I thought maybe Bayley was out there ringing the bell to help Sasha, but nope. I seen a tweet, Sasha screwed Sasha, in reference to the Bret Hart Montreal screw job. I thought that was pretty funny, guys. But Bayley comes out because Nia Jax won't let go of the hold. Nia Jax lets go and rolls out of the ring as she stares down Bailey. So I gotta be honest, the next match I cared less about. Enzo Amore and Big Cass, I'm a fan of theirs, don't get me wrong. But they were wrestling Jinder Mahal and Rusev again. This time it's a tornado tag match, but I gotta be honest, guys, I'm tired of this. This is boring to me, it's old. Enzo and Cass get the win. I honestly didn't pay much attention to this match. If it was good, let me know in the comments below, but I frankly don't care anymore about this feud, this rivalry. It's just the same old stuff over and over again. But Triple H finally arrives, and he basically gets in the ring and has a pretty good promo. Now, I think the reasoning's kind of skewed here because he basically says once Seth Rollins got injured and then came back, he kind of abandoned Triple H or something. I didn't get that. Overall, it was a pretty good promo Triple H cut. He definitely made you feel like he's been holding back, like he's wanted to come challenge Seth Rollins and he wanted to come answer his call outs, but he can't because he's the businessman now and Stephanie doesn't want him to, and it's bad for business and all that. They made it make a little more sense here. Then Seth Rollins finally comes out. Seth Rollins looks enraged. And this is probably the best part of Raw. As soon as he gets to the ring area, Samoa Joe out of nowhere. That's right. Samoa Joe made his main roster debut tonight. I was shocked. I thought he was going to be on SmackDown because I thought SmackDown needed the star power more. Whew. Samoa Joe just decimates Seth Rollins. The segment pretty much ends with Samoa Joe putting Seth Rollins in a coquina clutch and then standing over his limp and defeated carcass. I'm shocked. My thoughts of Raw was it was okay. There was a bunch of segments we didn't need, a bunch of things we didn't need, but story development was here at least. We didn't really have a real main event caliber type of match. This seemed more like just a story building Raw, which is okay sometimes. I just wish we had more action. Samoa Joe making his main roster debut. That's amazing. You guys should just check out that clip alone. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of Raw. Were you shocked to see Samoa Joe on Raw? I know I was. Let me know what else you thought about Raw. Hey, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share with all your friends. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Until next time, this is Big Love's Breakdown, and I got 2 words for you. Stay tuned.